Welcome you students. Today we are going to discuss the question and answer of CBSE 6th standard subject science 5th chapter. The name of the chapter is separating substances. In this video we will cover all the questions from your textbook. The first question in your textbook is that why do we need to separate the different components of a mixture? Give two examples. Here we are going to write what is the need of separating substance, and we are going to give the two examples. The answer by me is like this: among different components of a mixture, there are many substances which are harmful or not useful for us. To remove these harmful and unuseful components, we need to separate them. For example, tea leaves are separated from the liquid with the strainer while preparing tea, and whenever before drinking tea we separate the tea leaves. This is the first example. And second example, stone pieces from the wheat, rice or pulses are picked out by the hand. This is the second example. The question number 2 from your textbook, that is, what is winnowing and where is it used? Here we have to write the definition of the winnowing, and then where do we use this method of separating substance. This we have to we have to mention there. So the answer will be like this: winnowing is used to separate the heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing air. This process is used by farmers to separate lighter husk particles from the heavier. This is very important. This process is used by the farmers to separate lighter husk particles from the heavier seeds of a grain. So in this way the answer will be there of second question. Then there is third question: how will you separate the husk or dirt particles from a given sample of pulses before cooking? Before cooking, how will you separate the husk and dirt particles? This is your question, and answer will be like this: the husk or dirt particles can be separated by winnowing. Being lighter, they all fly away from the pulses. Here it is one mistake, students. Wall, here should be all. Okay. Then students, what is sieving? Where can it be used? The next question is, what is sieving and where it be used? The answer will be like this: sieving is a process by which fine particles are separated from bigger particles by using a sieve. It is used in the flour mill, at a construction sites. In flour mill, impurities like husk and stones are removed from the wheat. Pebbles and stones are removed from sand by sieving. Your next question is, how will you separate sand and water from the mixture? How will you separate sand and water from their mixture? It is very easy question. The answer will be like this: we will separate sand and water by sedimentation and decantation method. First, we leave this mixture for some time. After some time, the sand, which is heavier, is settled down at the bottom. After that, we will pour water into another container and mixture will be separated. In this way, we can, by using the sedimentation and decantation, we can separate the sand and water. Then, my dear students, your next question number 6: is it possible to separate sugar mixed with the wheat flour? If yes, how will you do it? They asked us that, is it possible to separate sugar which is mixed in the wheat flour, and how can we separate that? Your answer will be like this, students: sugar can be separated from the wheat flour by sieving. Due to the difference in the size of the particles, sugar will stay on sieve and wheat flour will pass through it. As we know, students, uh, wheat particles or wheat flour particles are smaller than the sugar particles. By using sieving we can separate the sugar particles and flour from one another, as sugar particles are larger than the wheat flour particles. Then students, your next question number 7: how would you obtain clear water from sample of a muddy water? It is very important question, my dear students. How would you obtain clear water or pure water from your sample muddy water? Means, suppose students, you have the muddy water, then how can you make it pure, or how can you separate the pure water from that muddy water which is mixed with the mud? The answer will be like this, student: we will obtain clear water from a sample of a muddy water by the process of filtration. It is very important method, students. It is used everywhere. A filter paper is one such a filter that has very fine pores in it. Pores means small holes. Shows the steps in the figure 5.12. Here are two figures shown. As in the figure shown, shows the steps involved in the using of a filter paper. A filter paper folded in the form of a one cone is fixed in a funnel. The mixture is then poured on the filter paper. Solid particle in the mixture do not pass through it and remain on the filter. Means, we have to make the filter triangular shape, and then we have to fix the filter paper on that. Whatever you are going to where you are going to filter that, on that we have to fix that, and from that we can separate the mud from the water. Means, whatever the solid particles, that particles will remain on that filter paper, and the water will be pure water will be there in our container. Then the next question number 8, objective type questions are there. That is the fill in the blanks. The first question is: the method of separating seeds of paddy from its stalks is called dash dash. What will be our answer? Is called as a threshing. In the method of threshing, here it is the answer. In the method of threshing, what is done? The method of separating seeds from the seeds of a paddy from its stalks. Means, we can separate the paddy from the stalks by the method of threshing. Then the next question is there: when milk cooled after boiling is poured onto a piece of a cloth, the cream is left behind on it. This process of separating cream from the milk is an example of filtration. What? Filtration. Here we are using the method of filtration. As in the previous question we have seen about the filter paper, in the same way we are going to filter the milk here, because whatever the milk you have boiled, you will see a layer of a cream formed on the surface of that milk. And if for separating that cream, we can use any cloth, and we can pour that milk through that cloth. Then that cream will be left on that cloth. This method is called as what? Filtration. Then the next question number, here it is that salt is obtained from seawater by the process of dash dash. Salt is obtained from the seawater by the process of evaporation. We knew that when in the salt pans, salty water is stored or deposited due to the heat of sunlight, the water gets evaporates and only salt remains behind. In this way, by the method of evaporation, the salt is obtained from the seawater. Then the next question: impurities settled at the bottom when muddy water was kept overnight in a bucket. The clear water was poured off from the top. The process of separation used in this example is called as a sedimentation and decantation. Then students, the next question, question number 9, it is also objective type, that is true or false. It is the last question from your textbook. The first true or false sentence is a mixture of a milk and water can be separated by filtration. A mixture of milk and water can be separated by filtration. Is it true, students? No, we can't separate the milk and water by the method of filtration. So this sentence will be false. The next question, a mixture of powdered salt and sugar can be separated by the process of winnowing. It is this sentence is false because we can't separate the powdered salt and sugar by the process of winnowing, as both the substances are heavier. The method of winnowing is used to separate the lighter particles from heavier substances. Okay, students. Then the next question, separation of sugar from tea can be done with the filtration. Separation of sugar from tea can be done with the filtration. Here, students, you should carefully read the question. Separation of sugar from the tea. Here they said about the sugar, not about the tea leaves. So this sentence will be false. Separation of sugar from the tea cannot be done with the filtration. We can separate the tea leaves by the filtration. Then next question, grain and husk can be separated with the process of decantation. So this sentence is also false. We can't separate grain and husk by the method of decantation. Okay, students, in this way we have covered all the questions. Thank you.